What's up, crypto enthusiasts? Welcome back to Wise Staking. Today we're talking about Wise's price floor in Ethereum. And this is one of the most important things to understand about the project. It's fundamental, but it's also one of the most misunderstood aspects about Wise. And so it's very important that I make this video, and this is going to be a good one for you to understand and for you to share as well. And it's for good reason that people don't understand it, because this is a concept and an innovation. It's a technology that we at the Wise Foundation invented ourselves. So no other crypto is backed by ETH the way Wise is. It's a completely new concept, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. So in order to do that, I want to rewind back to the problem that this solves. And the problem is, how can a crypto project preserve the value of your money, as seen here? You know, I've been a crypto investor since 2017, and there's been project after project where you give them your money and they do a terrible job at preserving it. 6 months down the road, 1 year down the road, you have nothing to show for it. You're basically giving your money away for these worthless tokens, and that money doesn't go to backing up the token as it should. And there's many reasons for that. So here's the founder team. Here's things that founders and teams do with the money. And the first two are completely legitimate. They're development and marketing. So development means like, okay, well, you gave them money, and part of it is to pay the developers to develop new products for the cryptocurrency, which could possibly be things that people like, bring in more users, add extra tools to whatever the cryptocurrency does, that type of thing. And then marketing, which is meant to bring new users in and, increase ROI for everybody. So these two things are good things, but the problem is they're very temporary, and it's still very, very risky. So remember, the question is, how can a crypto preserve the value of your money? You give them money for the crypto, and what do they do with it? Development, that's extremely risky. Like, you are betting on that development being something good, and that's a really risky thing, to be hoping that they come out with something new that is going to preserve the value of your money. And then marketing works, if done correctly, but as soon as you stop marketing, it stops working. So they might use your money, but they might use it in a way where it runs out, and they don't have money for marketing anymore. So it really depends on a lot of things, and these are not good ways to preserve the value of your money. And this is why so many new cryptos are extremely, extremely risky, and why so many of them fail. Just like startups, startups, like 99 out of 100 of them fail. It's even worse for crypto. It's even worse than 99 out of 100 cryptos failing. And that is because nobody has been able to figure out how to preserve the value of the money over long periods of time. And that's what crypto should be about. Or I should say very few. Obviously, Bitcoin's doing a great job. Ethereum is doing a great job. Many new projects are not doing a great job. And so that's why this is important. So besides these two legitimate things that could actually help, there's other uses for the money that just don't help at all. One is seed investors. So seed investors are useless to a project, usually, because they need a huge cut. They're not giving their money for free. They want either a ton of the tokens or a ton of the profit share. It's not worth it to have seed investors. And that's another liability for everybody that's in the project, because now you have these big money bags people who are basically diluting the value for everyone and taking profits that could have been for the rest of the projects. And so once again, it goes back to, are they using the money well? And in most cases, it's very difficult to return people's value and to give them an ROI, especially after the initial hype phase. So besides seed investors, there's the VIP cuts. So this is talking about many projects, almost every project that I know of. When they start out, if there's people that are willing to invest $300,000 or more, they will get, double the tokens, triple the tokens, 5 times the amount the tokens, because that's free for the developers to do. It doesn't cost them anything. They can just print more, And what's actually happening is it's diluting everyone else, because those VIPs who invested that money got so much for free, they can just cash out. They'll be making bank, and it'll be at the detriment of the rest of the people. And then the last thing that we see people doing with the money is rug pulling, which is very prevalent, starting in 2020. So many people are either just running off with the money, pulling the liquidity away from the markets. Rug pulls are prevalent. There's Twitter accounts just made for monitoring how many rug pulls are happening on a daily basis. So all these things, very small chance. Like the only two things on this list are the top two that have even a small chance of preserving the value of your money, and even then it's a massive, massive risk. And so me as an investor, I was like, this is ridiculous. Because blockchain technology has the ability to program anything in any way. So to me, there really should be a way that backs up the cryptocurrency you buy with the money that you bought it with. That money shouldn't be going away for developing, marketing, that type of thing. When we're talking about money systems, if we want cryptocurrency, if we want any cryptocurrency to be adopted as a money system, then it has to be backed by assets, at least until it becomes its own money system. That's just the way it is. So being backed by assets is not a new concept, because we do have stablecoins, and stablecoins are backed by assets. So in this scenario, you give your money. Let's say you give $1 to purchase a DAI token or a Tether token. In the case of DAI, you are backed by a pool of crypto assets. You're actually over collateralized, so that the DAI network will always be able to pay you $1 worth of crypto back. You put one DAI in, it's always going to be worth $1. And then in the case of Tether, it's actually backed by US dollars. And so if you got Tether for 50 cents somehow, well, then you could literally change it in for $1 because it is backed by the US dollar. So this is a case where these cryptocurrencies are backed. However, they're pegged to $1. That's the only way that stable coins can work. They're pegged to $1. If you are holding DAI or holding Tether, they are not going to be worth $2 in a year. They're not even going to be worth $1.50 in a year. They're always going to be worth $1 because they are pegged to the US dollar. However, this concept of backing crypto is the right idea, and this can be applied to all other cryptocurrencies as well. But not until 2018, because in November 2018, that is when the piece of technology that was needed to perform this actually existed. And so that is Uniswap. So Uniswap is one of the first decentralized exchanges. If you don't know what it is, you definitely need to research it. If you're into crypto, you need to know what Uniswap is. It revolutionized the way exchanges work. So no more order books. We don't need the order books. We don't need the centralized exchanges. Instead, we have liquidity pools where trades are instant. Trades happen from your own private wallets. It's a much better experience. If more people knew about Uniswap, more people would use Uniswap, and already it's the biggest decentralized exchange in the world, having more volume than even Coinbase. So this is Uniswap, and this was the piece of technology that was needed to back a crypto project. Because in the case of Wise, the investors that sent money to buy Wise, their money did not get used for all this other stuff. Not at all. Instead, their money is now on Uniswap. And I'm going to show you that right here. So here is the history of the 50-day token sale that Wise had. So they had 50 days of auctions. Wise tokens were sold at market value, and at the end of 50 days, 57,900 Ether was collected. And of that, there was subtract 2,000 for the startup cost for the creation, and that's 3.5%. So 96.5% of this Ether, 55,900, made its way over to Uniswap. And so that is this pair right here. You see it's the fifth biggest, which is pretty notable right now at $178 million in liquidity. And so that is right here. And so you can see that this is a pool of liquidity on Uniswap. It's half one thing, half another thing. So we've got half value in Wise, that's 194 million, is equal to the value of 76,000 Ethereum. So this is half the value of one thing, half the value of another thing. Now also notice that this has grown because we put 55,900, and the pool of Ether has grown significantly, like 20,000 Ether, over 20,000 Ether more is in this liquidity pool, and that is because since the liquidity pool was created, more people bought Wise. And so you buy Wise by sending Ethereum, and then you get Wise. You can also sell Wise by sending Wise, and then you get Ethereum. But the pools are always going to be equal values on either side. So if you buy Wise, that means you're sending Ethereum to get Wise. It will equal out, and the price of Wise will go up because the pools need to stay equal. If you sell Wise, then the price of Wise is going to go down because you're adding Wise and taking Ethereum. So that's the way these pools work. And Wise did something different. Very, very different. And this is the key to understanding why Wise is backed. Because after the contract sent the Ethereum and the Wise to liquidity to form this pool, it destroyed the Uniswap LP tokens. It destroyed the keys that would be able to remove that liquidity. Because if we look at Uniswap, there's over $3 billion worth of assets. There's $3 billion worth of investors, putting money here in liquidity pools. So you see the top one right here is 230 million. A bunch of investors own that. A bunch of people put that there, probably hundreds or even thousands of people in total, each adding a little bit of liquidity. In the case of Wise, since the Wise contract burned the keys, they burned those Uniswap LP tokens, nobody owns this liquidity. So in the case of everyone else, somebody owns that liquidity, and it might still be locked, but in most cases it can be removed and the market can just disappear like that. So this market right here, $233 million, there's a lot of people that own that. If they all take it away, then that could go to zero and there could be no market, no liquidity. Not such is the case with Wise because of the burning of those Uniswap LP tokens. Here it is right here. So here's Etherscan. Here is the Uniswap liquidity provider tokens, represents Wise and ETH pair. So here's the pair right here. And you can see that 99.9% are in a burn address. See this 0x00000? That is because the contract sent it here to this burn address. Nobody owns these keys. That's basically throwing it away. So here is all the liquidity besides, some people are adding their own liquidity, but that is less than 0.1%. And all of this liquidity is unowned. So that means that even though this liquidity has grown, it started at 55,900 and now it has grown to 76,000 Ethereum. It went from 80 million to 175 million now. That means that still 99.9% of this liquidity is unowned. It can't be taken away. And that is significant because that means that everybody who owns Wise, that means the people who bought Wise here in the auctions, that was the first half of the supply, and plus everybody else who have bought it on Uniswap after it got listed, that means that the only people able to access this Ethereum right here are the people that own Wise right now. Nobody else can access that Ethereum, only Wise holders. And Wise holders know that there's no way that this Ethereum can be removed any other way because the thing that would do that is sitting in a burn address right here. So our market is secure and the entire Wise token project is backed by this pool of Ethereum right here. And so this is very, very significant. This means that we have a price floor in Ethereum, and it means that when the price of Ethereum goes up, then the price of Wise goes up too. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. In fact, why don't we go ahead and look at that now? So here is, let's actually switch to the Wise Ethereum. So here is our launch. We started right here at listed at 16 cents worth of Ethereum. This is people buying on Uniswap because this is the Wise Ethereum pair. So notice this flat period right here. You see this flat period? This is January 2, 3, January 4. So all the way almost to January 5, but through January 4, this period was flat, meaning people weren't buying more Ys on Uniswap. There was very small buys, very small sells. It was pretty much flat. However, remember that was up through January 4. Now let's switch to the US dollar version. So Ys versus US dollar, we can see that there's a jump here on January 2, and then boom, 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 there's January 3, and January 4 is right here. So we like right here, we went from 19 cents to 30 cents. So we went over 30% up, even though the buys on Uniswap were flat. That is because we're backed by Ethereum. So the buys on Uniswap completely flat. Nobody was buying Ys. Everybody was just pretty much holding. Yet the price went up because the price of Ethereum went up. That is just math. Like, that's what happens when there's this much Ethereum backing the project. The price of Ethereum goes up. Obviously, it's just math. It makes the price of Ys go up as well. And that's what we saw right there. So then if we switch back to our Ys Ethereum chart, we can see that then people started buying. People started buying parabolically. And then that was just compounded here too, because the price of Ethereum was still going up and people started buying Y. So then instead of just 30%, man, we went like 5x. We topped out at 96.9 cents. So this is what happens. The 30% is what happened when Ethereum went up, but the buys on Uniswap were flat. Here's what happened when there was positive buys on Uniswap and positive price for Ethereum. Then we had this correction. Now right here and still to here, we went down. We went down all the way to right here, even though Ethereum was going up. So this is what happens when Ethereum is going up. So that was providing some support. However, the sells on Uniswap were even stronger. So you can see the sells here, sells here, sells here. So there were some people saying, oh, is it not backed by Ethereum anymore? No, it's still backed by Ethereum. It's just the sells were stronger than the price appreciation for Ethereum. So Ys is backed by Ethereum, but you're also exposed to Ys as well. So we absolutely get the price appreciation for when Ethereum goes up, because half of our liquidity is in Ethereum. However, you're also exposed to Ys. So the buys on and sells on Ys also matter too. And this is the only cryptocurrency where you maintain your exposure to Ethereum like this. This just doesn't happen anywhere else. So let's go back here, and so we have a pool of liquidity that's half value in Ys, half value in Ethereum, and now anybody who buys Ys sends Ethereum to this pool and increases the pool. And this is very significant because this creates a price floor in Ethereum. So the price floor in Ethereum is what would happen if everybody who was holding sold back to Uniswap. What would the price be? So they would be able to take some of the Ethereum and they'd be putting a lot of Ys. However, there would still be Ethereum left even if everybody did that. So first of all, bring your attention over here. Stakers are not able to cash out because they have Ys locked up over a period of time. If they end it early, there's severe penalties. So in this scenario, the price floor is what would happen if all the holders who held Ys sold it. There would still be a price floor, and you could see that here on ysinfo.io. So you can see our listing price was 16 cents worth of ETH. You can see how much the price has gone up. And then you can see our price floor right here. So our price floor is 24 cents in Ethereum. That is really, really significant because the price right now is only 43 cents in Ethereum. And so that means that if you bought right now, the worst that could happen is that the price goes down 44%. That's if you were the last person to sell. If everybody who had Ys available in their wallet sold, the price could only go down 44.32%. That's ridiculous. That basically means if you invest 2 Ethereum right now into Wise, there's no possible way you could get back less than 1 Ethereum. You're actually going to get back more than 1 Ethereum because it's only going to go down 44.32%. That is what our price floor in Ethereum is. There's no other crypto like that. That is the backing right there. And so looking at this price chart, like at 43 cents, let's look at what 24 cents. That's right here. So there's only this tiny little amount that before we would actually hit the price floor, and we're not going to hit the price floor unless everyone sells that has available Wise. Probably not a likely scenario. So you know that there's incredible support right there. So let's show this a little bit more. If we go down here and we see the entire total minted supply of Wise, 528 million, you can see that over 50% is staked. 12% is in wallets liquid, and the rest is on Uniswap. So Uniswap doesn't matter because it's already on Uniswap. Nobody owns it. It can't affect the price. That can't be sold back to Uniswap. It's already on Uniswap. So if we take that out, we can see that 80% are staked and just under 20% have liquid in wallet. So the price floor right now, like what you're seeing, is if that 20% sold immediately, all of it's sold immediately, the price on Uniswap would be 24.6 cents worth of Ethereum, and nobody would be left holding. The only people who would have Wise left is stakers. Now, can stakers early end stake and get a little bit of Wise? Sure, but let's look at the stakes. So here's the next 5 years out, and sure, in the next few months there's stakes coming due, and so could they make the price floor a few cents lower than what we're seeing if when their stakes come due they sell instead of restaking? Yes, that's absolutely possible. But if we look at how much Wise is staked out for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years, we see that that can't happen on a mass scale. So of this, a large portion of it is staked for years, which means if they did end stake, they would lose 90% of it. Absolutely ridiculous. Like they're most likely not going to do that, and if they do, they're only going to have 10% left. And the people that have stakes coming due in the near future is really not that much. So this is the price floor today if everybody were to sell, but there's an unbreakable price floor beneath that that's just a few cents lower than that, and that is what would happen if people that have their stakes coming due or ended their stakes were to sell as well. The good news about all that is that even if all the Wise in the whole system, if everybody unstaked and got no penalty, got all their Wise back, and then sold it back to Uniswap, there would still be Ethereum left on Uniswap. There would still be over 30,000 Ethereum left on Uniswap, backing up the entire market cap of Wise, even if there were 0 holders whatsoever. So that's tens of millions of dollars backing up the entire market cap, even if all Wise were sold. And that was only possible because we had a fair launch, because I didn't take the money as a founder, because I didn't waste it on all of these things that devalue the entire project. I didn't do any of those things. Instead, we created a massive ownerless pool of liquidity that backs up everyone. And this is incredible. It creates a price floor in Ethereum, and it can never be taken away, because the thing that would be able to take away that liquidity is sitting in a burn address, never to be accessed by any human ever. So this is amazing. If you're seeing this right now and you realize that the price floor is like right here, this is an amazing time to buy, first of all. And second of all, just understanding what we have here with this project and how it's different than other projects. So thank you so much for joining me for that explanation. Please feel free to comment below if you have any further questions. Feel free to share this video as well with people who don't understand what Wise is. Don't forget to leave a like on the video as well. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.